Comrade Ruveneko Perenyatwa, the Vice President, Honorable General Retired Dr. C.G.D.N. Chiwenga, the Vice President, Honorable Colonel Retired KCD Mohadi, the National Chairman of the ruling party, Comrade OCZ Mchinguri Kashiri, Honorable Ministers who are here, members of the Politburo of the ruling party ZANU-PF, the Chief Secretary to the President Cabinet, Dr. Martin Rushwaya, Chairman of the Public Service Commission, Dr. Vincent Ungwe, and other commissioners who may be here, senior government officials, service chiefs, chairpersons and chief executive officers of public entities and local authorities, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all to this occasion, which is the first to take place after the August 2023 harmonized general elections, resoundingly won by our ruling ZANU-PF party. This year's ceremony is occurring a few weeks before our country celebrates our fourth Independence Day commemorations, which will be held in Murambinda, Manicaland province. May the spirit, determination, and zeal that brought about our independence, our sovereignty, freedom, peace, and development continue to inspire us as public officials. As I alluded to earlier, today we witness the presentation of the evaluation results for the 2023 performance cycle for senior public officials. Additionally, we will witness the signing of performance contracts for the 2024 fiscal year by ministers, permanent secretaries, constitutional commissioners, chairpersons, and chief executive officers of public entities and local authorities, as well as vice chancellors of our state universities. Since we commenced the performance contracting journey in 2021, there has been progress in the utilization and institutionalization of the instrument across the public sector. Government will, therefore, continue with the reform agenda until our public sector institutions, systems, and the processes have reached maximum efficiencies, which are commensurate with the service delivery demands and expectations of our people. These must always guarantee that no one and no place is left behind. The performance contracts have been aligned to priority policy areas that were pronounced after the 2023 harmonized general elections. This will ensure that government ministries, departments, and agencies are accordingly guided to meet the expectations and aspirations of the people of our great motherland, Zimbabwe. In line with our decision to enhance synergies between the government and our ruling party ZANU-PF, The resolutions of our party congresses and conferences must be implemented at government level. Strategic plans and performance contracts should thus infuse and mainstream the policy direction and priority areas as directed by the party. Government, through the Presidential Affairs Department in my office, will continue working in collaboration with the ruling party to monitor progress in this regard. Comrades, there is a need to accelerate the attainment of Vision 2030 targets. Innovation, industrialization, entrepreneurship, job creation, modernization of institutions and systems, rural development, as well as improved livelihoods, among other socioeconomic activities, must be scaled up. The implementation of the devolution and decentralization agenda should be strengthened now and going into the future. The decentralization of various structures found at ministry head offices must be cascaded to the subnational levels, right down to the ward level, where government must be most visible. The strategies that have been put in place to strengthen the offices of the Ministers of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution should be implemented. More so, that devolution is now a measurable variable in the performance contracts for senior public officials. In this regard, I urge the Public Service Commission to deploy personnel to our provinces and districts with capacities and skills that reflect this new thrust of our government. I expect a quickened pace and a greater sense of urgency in the implementation of rural industrialization strategies. These must culminate in increased investment, exports, and infrastructure development. I was pleased to launch various ICT policies at the community level last week in Somabula, Midlands Province. We must continue on this trajectory where more government policies and programs are launched among the people. I challenge all levels of our bureaucracy, you here, to institutionalize future thinking as a key component of improving strategic planning and performance management. Let us deliberately develop and nurture a larger pool of experts with the requisite skills for planning, predicting and projecting future trends going into the decades for the future designs of our country, as well as the modernization and competitiveness of our economy. We must think beyond the present. The partnership between Zimbabwe and the United Arab Emirates under the Government Experience Exchange Program provides an opportunity for lessons that can be conceptualized to revamp our own public sector ecosystems. Aspects such as the institutionalization of the government excellence and accelerator models must be localized to reinvigorate and reconfigure the way we discharge public services in a manner that suits our peculiar realities in our respective provinces. Undoubtedly, a robust information communication technology ICT infrastructure backbone is critical in advancing our multi-pronged government modernization agenda. ICTs must therefore be leveraged to improve service delivery and reduce malpractices in our public sector. Public sector procedures and systems must be simplified to enable more effective and efficient people-centered service delivery. The digitalization and modernization of public sector institutions and systems should be accelerated to offer integrated online services. This matter has been on our priority list for too long, and more results must be seen in this regard. As such, the implementation of the e-government program should be strengthened to include skills and infrastructure backbone, among other aspects, to enable optimum harnessing of the opportunities brought about by artificial intelligence and other contemporary best ICT solutions. Comrades, ladies and gentlemen, government and the Second Republic must always have a human face and be ready to wholeheartedly and respectively serve the people of our beloved motherland, Zimbabwe. Therefore, as public officials, you must work with humility, with respect and integrity. We are a government of the people. Our culture, our norms and traditions, and our languages across the country should always be respected, and our policies simplified to be understood at the grassroots level. As ministers and the heads of ministries, departments and agencies, you must lead by example and provide the requisite leadership and guidance to those that work with you. Unity, discipline, and professionalism remain critical for nation building. There is no room for inflated egos and the personality cults in my administration. You are there to serve the people, not to boast to the people. Meanwhile, the tripartite institutional arrangement laid by the Chief Secretary will continue playing a central role in deepening the implementation of the public sector reform agenda. With regards to local authorities, the blueprint I launched, entitled Call to Action, No Compromise to Service Delivery, is now the guiding strategy to improve performance in our local authorities. The concerns of our citizens must be timely responded to and conclusively addressed. Despite the award of trophies today, to those who have excelled in different ministries, departments, and agencies, overall performance across the public sector is not to my expectation. This demands that we all roll up our sleeves and work harder to deliver a higher quality of life for our people and realize our optimal economic potential as a country. In line with the people-centered policies of the Second Republic and the whole of government and society approach, the perspectives of ordinary citizens, including the private sector, should be considered during the evaluation of performance contracts. This approach should also incorporate the involvement of a broader spectrum of stakeholders in development planning and participation under NDS1 thematic working groups. As I conclude, let me reiterate that as public sector officials, we have been entrusted with responsibility to lead in bringing to reality our national vision and the aspirations of our people, of our great motherland, Zimbabwe. This must never be taken lightly. The confidence and the faith that the people of Zimbabwe have reposed in us over the years by consistently voting for our ruling party ZANU-PF should never be taken for granted. Hence, the performance contracts that you are signing today should be a pledge and a declaration to the people of Zimbabwe that you, public officials here gathered, and those under you, are committed to deliver. Guided by our philosophy, nyika inovakwa, igotongwa, igonamatirwa, never. Ilizwe lakiwa, libuswe, likulekelwe, ngabanikazi balo. There is no other philosophy deeper than this to any nation. Let us remain patriotic. Let us remain loyal, united and committed, despite the heinous and illegal sanctions, which continue to be an albatross to our country's development, progress, and prosperity. There is no one from outside who will build our country and improve the standards of living of our people but ourselves. That burden lies with each and every one of us here. May I now congratulate all those who have received awards and recognition today. I wish you great success as we implement our 2024 development plans. God bless you all. God bless Zimbabwe.
Maria,